Success is what distinguishes a man. Success in commerce, in his life, in making money. And nothing succeeds like success is the motto of America. They want power, they want domination, they want success. Happiness, these things are supposed to bring happiness. When I am powerful, when I have a lot of money, I shall be happy. There's no talk of contentment. Contentment doesn't find favor with them. Because if you are content, you are stagnant. And you don't progress. Without progress, there's no success. But then what happens when you succeed? You progress more. See, spirituality teaches us to be content with what we have. Illat, killat, zillat, I have already spoken to you about. We are taught to have a little less of everything, little less of money, little less of health, and a lot of criticism from critics. All of which make us turn inward, all of which make us move away from the pulls of pleasure and success of the world. Where I should have 1 rupee, I have only 90 paisa. It's enough for me. I don't have to go out into the clamor of this world to earn 2 rupees, 5 rupees, 50 rupees, 500 rupees. Because when you start moving up the scale, there is no end. Whereas when you try to simplify your life, it can be done in 1 minute. You just walk out of your house with your walking stick. I read one small story by Rudyard Kipling about a man who was a common man but who became Prime Minister of a state in India. And one day he retired. He just took off his royal coats and put it on a chair, took out his own coat and put it on, put on his cap, took his walking stick and walked away. As Kipling says, into the nowhere in the large land of India. And he kept walking north. He went on walking north until he came to the mountains. Then the cities were left behind. Then he went on walking until he climbed the mountains. There were villages first, then were fewer villages, then finally no villages except far between. Finally, on top of a mountain, he came to a shrine of Lord Shiva. There he sat. He had no plans, he had no hopes, he had no expectations. At the same time, he was not in despair, he was not in fear, he had no longings. He was there. In the faith that if he had to be there, he was there. Whatever has to happen would happen, and he had nothing to worry about. There was a village at the foot of the mountain. Slowly, those people started coming up, bringing him food and water. And he continued to exist, became older and older. The children of the village started coming and playing. The deer of the forest used to come and sit near him. One day, 2 deers, by the time he was very old, he could barely walk. 2 horned antlers, they came. They lifted him up, by putting their head under his armpits and took him away. And an earthquake followed. There the story ends, you see. For serenity, for peace of mind, what we require is really nothing. Not the nothing in the material sense of he has no house, he has no chairs, he has no sofas, he has no aircraft. It means so many things, you see. I don't have a private plane, I don't have a Mercedes car. That nothing we will never achieve. But this nothing, which means I am full of nothingness, and that nothingness pervades my existence, and that nothingness is pregnant with the possibility of everything in this universe. If you can think of the mystery of a tiny atom-sized egg in a woman's womb, which has produced you and you and you. Don't you see the mystery of nothingness? What was there before? Nothing. What happened? Oh, what happens to every married couple in the universe? And how did it happen? Love brought it about. And there results the miracle of life, a new entity, potentially loaded with the possibility of perfection and liberation. It is born. It continues to be loved. It grows up with love. It was born by love. It grows up with love. It must continue to lead its life with love for everyone. Then that life is ennobled. It may not be a perfect life in material terms. The father herded 3 cows, he may herd 5 cows. That is progress. Or may have nothing. That's also no progress. No regress either. It is as it is. So you see, if in these attitudes of reverence, not for a father because he was successful and became the president of the country, but because he lived life within the confines of whatever environment destiny brought him into, with whatever ability he was endowed with, bestowed with, and whatever by way of material things he had, which were again nature's gift to him, if he had a sense of completion in his work and can die in the satisfaction, Lord, I have done what I could with my life and with whatever thou hast blessed me with, this I offer unto thee. That is the final surrender. But today we want success, we want millions and billions, and at the end of the life, a large family going to court over who gets what. You see, this is what prosperity does. What does contentment do? If there is a problem with the 2 brothers, one brother says, brother, you keep it. After all, you are my brother. You are not going to see me dead. Keep everything and give me what you think you deserve. Don't give me at all if it doesn't matter. I will lie down in a corner of my father's house. There's another story of an emperor, who had 3 young children, aged 8, 6, and 2. The emperor died. There was no heir. So the minister usurped the throne. Instead of killing these babies or children, he was, as he thought, merciful and told us, take them to the borders of this land and leave them there. The 3 children went to an inn within the border of the other next country. They lived for some time. Then the eldest lived there. The other 2 went off to make their fortunes in whatever way they could. The eldest lived as a servant, very devoted, very dedicated, only food for his work. Eventually, he grew up, became a man, 20, 22, 24. The innkeeper said, you are the best man to manage this inn. He gave him both his inn and his daughter. They were married. In due course, they had 3 children and very happy, content. One day, they are standing in the door of that small inn, little hotel. And they see a huge cloud of dust coming this side. It was the second brother with an enormous army he had managed to get together, coming to fight the former prime minister of his father's land. And they stopped at the inn for rest. They found they were brothers, they embraced each other. And the eldest brother said, brother, let you stay here for some time. What's the hurry? He agreed. 2 days later, another column of dust. And it was the third brother with the elephants and camels in a huge convoy loaded with jewels and gold, wealthy beyond dreams. They recognized each other and all 3 were very happy to be united. Now started the problem, you see. At night, they were conspiring. The army man was thinking how he could, kill off his youngest brother and take over the whole wealth of that caravan. And the youngest brother was thinking how with his wealth he could buy off the army and have both. The eldest brother somehow, because he was simple-minded, content, he could guess their thoughts. Next morning, he spoke to the brothers. Nature has united us not to fight and kill off each other. Some purpose is there for us to exist together. Be content like me. They said, how? He said, you man, my youngest brother, use your wealth to pay off the army of our middle brother. That's what they did, and they lived content ever after. And the famous, there are few English mystics on record. British English, Old English. One fellow called James Allen has written about sparrows, you see. How in winter you throw a scrap of bread and 100 parrots will cooperatively eat it. But in spring, you put a whole loaf of bread and one sparrow will sit on it and prevent everything from coming near. He says prosperity breeds selfishness, breeds hatred of others, breeds violence. So we have to learn to lead life in simplicity, which gives us joy of existence, happiness, joie de vivre, as the French say it, the joy of life, not of attainment, not of possession, not of picnics, not of love affairs, viva l'amour, no. The joy of sheer existence, that you can relax in a chair on my veranda and sit and thank God that I'm alive. If this we can do day after day, day after day, day after day, seeking no indulgence, seeking no titillation, seeking no adventure, seeking nothing except this infinite joy of existence given to me only by my Creator and my cooperative self, my life is culminating in that joy whenever it may come.